All right, what's up, guys? It's Forrest with Urs Truly, and I am with Jay Kasame.
Tis I, artist, producer, engineer, Filipino-American.
First off, where'd you get Jay Kasame, like the name?
So I was actually watching the anime Akame ga Kill. The Ame sound, I was like, that's so fucking fire. And then, yeah, I got Jay because I love my older brother, Jacob. Love that guy. He's been a role model for me my whole life. So yeah, I got Jay from that, like for short. And then I just looked up like words that end in Ame. On Kasame, which is roughly translated to like flowers and rain. I don't know, I just thought it was so beautiful where like rain is cold and wet and it sucks, but flowers are so beautiful, but it's like almost a yin and yang thing.
Did your brother like influence you to start making music?
No, but he was super supportive right off of the bat. For my 18th birthday, I had like been making beats and stuff, and he bought me my first mic and audio interface and one of those like diffusers, like for the mic. Yeah, one of the mic shields. And like introduced me to his producer friends that he knew from Kennesaw. And I was like, oh, this is so cool. You're so cool for this. So yeah, the biggest inspiration, here, I gotta sit up for this. Fuck.
All right, we better lock in.
The biggest inspiration for my production style doesn't even come from just like music that I listened to. It was a lot of the media that I took in. We're standing all the dogs at attention for this. It was all the media that I took in. So like, I remember I had a Sega Dreamcast, and there was this game, it was called Sega Marine Fishing. It was one of those, it's similar to how people talk about Tarzan, where it's like, you did not have to have a soundtrack that good, where it's like a bunch of drum and bass, like that's where I get the drum and bass and shit from games like that, from like Jet Set Radio, from Sonic Adventure, like just, I don't know. All the shows and the games that I played, I feel like that's what really got my, my production taste. So yeah.
What has your inspiration been like lately?
It still comes from a bunch of places. Like I remember Billie Eilish when she dropped Chihiro. I was like, Billie Eilish on a house beat with a live bass? I had to be up for work at 7 a.m. that morning. I waited till midnight, listened to it drop, and I immediately worked on a beat until like 4 a.m. and got like 2 hours of sleep because it was just so sick.
Inspiration was in the moment. You had to like capture it.
Definitely Clario's album, super, super influential for me. Even though it doesn't show in the production, just like the way that she layers her vocals and her harmonies and stuff, I love working with that. Sampha, definitely Sampha's latest album.
What was the first instrument that you got?
An acoustic guitar. I remember I got that, and then a week later got my electric, and I made a song. It basically sounded like You Know What I Mean by Yacht Club. I remember I made that off rip, and then that like fall, and I remember that following Christmas my dad got me my first bass.
I saw you just learned the bass part for that Mac song with Thundercat.
Oh yeah. What's the use?
Yeah, what's the use? That was fire.
You feel it? No. Rest in peace.
I know, rest in peace, Mac. That was my favorite rapper.
Oh, I think the biggest concert FOMO I've ever had in my life. Well, actually,
swimming.
Recently, Sabrina Carpenter.
She was in Disney, right? So like,
yeah, she's like littered all throughout Phineas and Ferb. They said that they would use her as like an auxiliary voice.
Whoa, she was like a voice for
she
Phineas
was
and Ferb?
Hundreds of voices. So she wasn't any specific characters. Like she couldn't tell you what she was, but she is all throughout
like
the show.
Extras.
Like oh, we need like some girl to come up and say something.
Like ADR
to
work.
Phineas.
Yeah.
And like they would just bring her in the studio for that. That's why people say she's a nepo baby, is because her aunt is the voice of Bart Simpson, which it's like.
Yeah, I see.
I think the nepo baby conversation's interesting because it's like, if I have the opportunities, I'm gonna give that to my children.
Yeah,
of course. And it's like, as long as you're not an asshole about it, who cares?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Think about how many people have those opportunities available and don't do what Sabrina has done. Like, you gotta give her credit at some point. She's been doing her shit. Oh my gosh, she is so fire. And I was late to the train, unfortunately.
Sabrina Carpenter or Beabadoobee?
Most recent album, Sabrina Carpenter. Career-wise, Beabadoobee. I love Beabadoobee, man. So speaking of Akame ga Kill, where I got Kasame from, I remember I did shrooms, and in Akame ga Kill, this one character dies, and I was in love with that character. And the song, You Ought to Know That.
Who, Beabadoobee?
I think we're one and the same. That song. I heard that while I was on shrooms, and for some reason my brain connected that character's death to Beabadoobee's song. And so when I heard the song, I cried like a baby. I was, no.
Because shrooms already makes you do that like anyway, but like that just set it over the top for you.
Yeah.
Another article, had to do some research. You said that like your music feels like it's being told from the perspective of Jay, who's telling it from the perspective of Otto from Rocket Power.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude.
What other cartoons inspired you growing up?
There's a cartoon called Home Movies. Growing up with my parents being divorced, I like really learned individual relationships with each of them. And Brendan Small, the main character in that show, like the relationship that he has with his mom is just like, it's the best thing ever. Chowder, definitely. Like when I go back and think about music, like just the funky sounds of Chowder, I think that Chowder perfectly primed me to like Thundercat. The bass tones and the wah, man, yeah. I mean, I was a overweight, racially ambiguous kid who loved cooking, who's super ADHD. So I was like, you're me. This is, as a young Filipino guy, that's the most representation I ever had, except for like Jake Long maybe, but he was Chinese, so it's different.
What's it like balancing your artist life with the rest of your life?
Just in general, it's weird because it's like there are people who specifically only know me as Jay.
Yeah.
I think about it, I'm like, is this how like Brent Faiyaz feels when people are like, Brent? And he's like, actually, it's Chris.
Bro, I just had that realization with Gene Dawson. His real name is David Sanders.
Yeah.
And like that threw me off.
But recently it's wild. There's just so many life changes going on personally. I plan on pursuing a doctorate here in a couple years, and it's like all my Ken Jeong shit actually.
What's like a color you would use to describe your music?
Dark pink. Like a dark pink. Because I definitely pull from like bubblegummy, fun pop sounds, ear candy stuff. Like I really pull from like PinkPantheress.
Her drum and bass is like sexy drill, but it's like PinkPantheress is like drum and bass.
It's
like very girly and very like light.
I love the concept of girlhood, and it's like even though I can never experience that, well, some say I could, but that's a whole.
It wouldn't be the same.
We're not getting into that.
Yeah.
I admire it so much that I'm like, all right, what if I put some fun sounds in my stuff because it's fun?
No, bro, I think you should try it. Try it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you can.
Because you can. Who's gonna stop you?
Because you can.
Marry, fuck, kill.
Oh.
SZA.
Oh.
Claro.
Oh.
And Beabadoobee.
No. Ah, fuck. All right.
You gotta send it,
Mary
bro.
Beabadoobee, my Filipino queen.
Yeah.
Claro, SZA. They're so different.
They're so different, yeah.
Just for the fact that Claro was my first celebrity crush. I always thought celebrity crushes were weird. I was like, that's the parasocial relationships and stuff.
It is very weird.
In middle school, girls were like, I know Justin Bieber's dog's name. But yeah,
Never
and then
mind,
Claro
girl.
came along. I remember the Pretty Girl music video. First time I ever saw it, I was like, okay, I get it now. I get, yeah, she's everything.
So you're saying you would?
So I guess I will have relations with Claro.
We'll say married, love, kill.
I'll love her.
And then SZA's getting killed.
God damn it. I don't want to kill SZA, but
She's gotta go, bro.
Damn.
It's okay. She'll get over it, bro.
I don't like you for asking that question.
I'm sorry.
Now
but
if I
I'm
meet
not
SZA, I
sorry.
have to tell her that I killed her. But I married Beabadoobee.
On the topic of females and love, you tweeted in 2019 that your wife is somewhere listening to singing alongside the Pyramids.
What the fuck?
Do you still believe that?
You looked at my tweets.
Oh, I looked at your tweets. Moving to
know.
ATL in May, #1 goal is finding a woman who dresses like Brat Sonic.
I've been on Sonic Adventure, like TikTok, Instagram. Like there's so many memes of Sonic. I love Sonic. Anyways, yeah. When I moved to Atlanta, girlies, if you dress like Brat Sonic.
Brat Sonic and not Brat Charlie XCX, right?
I mean, we fuck with Charlie in this house.
Right, but like,
sure,
they're kind of similar.
Oh, but you said sing along the Pyramids.
Oh yeah, do you still believe that? Do you still believe your wife is singing along the Pyramids somewhere?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. She has to be.
She's a big Frank Ocean fan?
Pyramids is this generation's Bohemian Rhapsody. I fully believe that. I think it's better. No, it is better. I don't care.
What is your goal for like this year, and also like just like your, you know, what do you have coming?
I mean, the biggest thing, I've been obsessed with being a doctor. I think the title of that is just fire. Imagine I go to perform, I'm like, Dr. Jay Kasame.
That's crazy.
Bitch.
You gotta wear a mask, bro, because you got the doctor in front of your name, like MF Doom.
Yeah. Nah, I'm not gonna bite MF Doom. Rest in peace to a legend. I kind of went on a hiatus, just like looking like I guess a spiritual journey, if you will, this year. So I'm excited to get back to releasing consistently. Hoppin' 2 was really fun. I really love that song. I think I'm diving further into what my sound really is, of like, it's not just biting PinkPantheress on the D&B, it's not just biting whoever. It's like truly my own sound of the UK garage, of the funk, of all the inspirations that we've talked about, and it's like really coming out as my own. So I'm super excited.
Dude, I'm so happy to hear that you're like combining all that together, and like you feel like, would you say it's like your most thought out thing that you've been working on, like ever?
I'd say in terms of sound, it does feel the most cohesive. Like even if like there's the next song I plan to release is called Upset, and it's like a smooth rap R&B track, and then the next song is called The Trouble, and it's like a heavy hitting house song, and even then with the difference in sounds, similar to how Tyler does, where like he just has his staples and his trademarks, where like you know it's a Tyler song. I feel like I'm starting to have that, where it's like, you know, this is a Jay song because of the harmonies or because of his bass lines or this, that, and the other. So, yeah.
Thank you so much for doing this interview, bro.
Yeah, thank you for interviewing me. It's
absolutely. In the reading addict of the kids section.
Absolute honor.
Yeah, thank you guys. And with that, I think that's it.